It's Wednesday, August 9th. And for the past 3 years, many of us have had the ability to work from home. We've had the ability to get a lot of things done without leaving the confines of our home or our neighborhood, because it was dangerous to go to work. The pandemic was raging, and so we were stuck at home, and in many cases that was okay because we had a product at our disposal that helped us through all of this. And the product that I'm talking about is Zoom. Zoom allowed us to meet with many, many people without leaving the comfort of our homes. And many businesses took advantage of that and allowed their employees to work from home. And they also took advantage of the situation by reducing the size of their office space, because allowing people to work from home meant that they could go and have smaller working quarters and save tons of money. And so now, even though the pandemic has settled, I will call it settled, these companies still allow their employees to work from home because they've given up a lot of their office space, and that has saved them tons of money. And of course, the people in places like Manhattan are now struggling to rent that office space. So you see, there are good things and bad things when technology gets involved in the business community. And I am not saying that it's a bad thing to allow people to work from home. But I think the cycle is ending. And it's ending very, very slowly, but it's ending. There are still many people who are working a split schedule. 3 days in the office, 2 days from home, that type of thing. And I myself find myself doing Zoom quite often. I have a Zoom meeting every Tuesday with my men's club. And I attend several sessions in a Zoom format, even though there are people that do show up at those events, like an American History or Civilization and the Jews, two very informative lectures. And then, of course, on Wednesdays I run a current events group that meets in person with 20 or 30 people, but in addition to those 20 or 30 people, there are Zoomers. There are many people who are staying at home with the ability to watch things because they have this wonderful product, Zoom. And Zoom is basically free. So in many cases, there are many people who say, why should I bother to get fully dressed and everything? I'll just Zoom this event and we'll be over with. But that's coming to an end, I think. In fact, Zoom is now requesting that all its employees come to the office. Zoom feels that they will be more productive in the office. Actually, Zoom is very tired of its employees being far away. And it's not the only company that feels that way right now. So could this cycle be ending soon? Zoom became a great success because of the early part of the pandemic, when people had to get together. And it came from relative obscurity to the type of popularity that made it a noun, a verb, and a catchphrase. Can you set up a Zoom for us? Let us Zoom. I have Zoom fatigue. All of those things have been said by many people. And don't kid yourself, Zoom made tons of money from the video conferencing. Millions of people who started working from home were using Zoom. And Zoom had a big part of the out-of-the-office workforce. And many of its employees were allowed to work from out of the office. But now Zoom is joining the other tech companies that are pushing for in-person work. Zoom is requiring that many of its 7,400 employees start to show up at the office. The company asked last week that all employees within 50 miles of an office come to work in person on a part-time basis. I don't understand why it would be part-time, but that's up to them. That's a plan that Zoom said it would roll out in August and September. If it was me, I'd make them come to the office full-time, or at least 4 days a week. It seemed to me that Zoom management was doing something weird. But then when I read further into it, it's saying that they want their employees in the office at least 2 days a week, but they can continue work hard at home for the other 3 days. They want those 2 days a week in the office so that the teams can work together. Because the work that the individuals at Zoom are doing, the technology, is not an individual effort by one person. It involves a group of people figuring out exactly how to do whatever it is they want to do to improve Zoom. So on balance, the whole thing is a little bit different than what I thought when I started reading this article. I thought they wanted everybody back in the office all day and et cetera, et cetera. But that's not what it really ended up saying. 2 days a week will be sufficient in the office. And the other 3 days they can continue to work at home, which should not be a hardship for these people. But you know what? Even though I felt that 2 days a week is fine, I would be happy with that. There are many employees who are not happy. They express frustration because about the time and the money they would waste while commuting. According to one employee, they'd be wasting time and money by commuting. Well, that's what normal people have to do. They have to commute to work. If you're lucky enough, it's only 2 days a week. What's the big deal? But you see, people get dissatisfied with simple things. Imagine if they had to come back to the office for 5 days a week, what the ruckus would be all about. These people got spoiled. Working from home is very nice. You can work in the middle of the night, or you can work early in the morning, or you can work in the afternoon. You got a schedule, it's your own schedule, as long as you get the stuff done. These people are not required to talk to customers or anything like that. Imagine if they had to talk to customers, they would go crazy. So you can't satisfy everybody. So 2 days a week is a hardship now. Stay at home. That's what they want to do. So we've spoiled them. Zoom has spoiled these employees, I believe. Made it too easy on them. You know, this business that they're in right now, they have created a monster because they went from 10 million meetings a year on Zoom to over 300 million meetings a year on Zoom. That's a fortune. These people should be happy that they have this great job. And they shouldn't be bitching about having to come to work to the office 2 days a week. Maybe some employees are really worried anyhow because there were some layoffs by Zoom in February of this year. But you got to recognize sometimes you hire too many people, and because you got to catch up with all the work, and then you do the work, and then you have nothing for those people to do. So hang in there. You got to hang in there. And you can always, if you're a techie, you can always get another job if you need it. So all in all, I think Zoom is here to stay. I think they're going to be very, very profitable. And I don't think anybody working for Zoom should be worrying about their jobs. So have a great day, and I'll see you in the morning. Bye.